What's up, everyone? Today, we're diving into the life of a legend, Bruce Lee, the man who literally kicked his way into Hollywood history and changed martial arts forever. But here's the question: how much was the dragon actually worth? And what kind of lifestyle did he live before his tragic death at just 32 years old? Stick around because we're breaking down Bruce Lee's net worth, his properties, his rides, and the business empire he was building. Trust me, some of these facts might surprise you. Let's get straight to the numbers. When Bruce Lee died in 1973, his estate was valued at around $10 million. Now, that might not sound insane by today's celebrity standards, but adjusted for inflation, we're talking about roughly $70 million in today's money. Not bad for a guy who was only a superstar for about 2 years. But here's the wild part: Bruce was just getting started. He died right as his international fame was exploding. Enter the Dragon hadn't even been released in the US yet when he passed away. Industry experts believe that if he lived just another decade, his net worth could have easily hit hundreds of millions. He was negotiating deals that would have made him one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. Let's talk about where the Dragon laid his head. Bruce Lee's most famous residence was his home at 41 Cumberland Road in Kowloon, Hong Kong. This wasn't just any house, it's literally a tourist attraction now. The mansion, built in a colonial style, has become such a cultural landmark that there were massive preservation efforts to turn it into a museum. The house featured multiple levels, beautiful gardens, and enough space for Bruce to train. And let me tell you, this property wasn't cheap even back then. Kowloon was and still is one of Hong Kong's most prestigious neighborhoods. Today, that same house would be worth tens of millions of dollars. Before Hong Kong, Bruce lived in Los Angeles with his family. He owned a modest but comfortable home in Bel Air on Roscommare Road. It wasn't a massive Hollywood mansion, but it was in one of LA's nicest areas. Bruce actually preferred keeping things relatively low-key when it came to his American residence. He wasn't about the flash, he was about the craft. Now, cars. This is where Bruce showed a little bit of that star power. His most iconic vehicle? A 1972 Mercedes-Benz 350 SL, sleek, powerful, and sophisticated, basically Bruce Lee in car form. This wasn't some over-the-top sports car. It was a refined, luxury vehicle that made a statement without screaming for attention. But here's a cool detail: Bruce also owned a Porsche 911 for a martial artist who was all about speed, precision, and efficiency. The 911 was a perfect fit. It's one of the most legendary sports cars ever made, and Bruce had the taste to appreciate it. He also had a Mercedes-Benz sedan for family trips and daily use. Bruce understood practical luxury. He wanted quality and performance, but he wasn't collecting cars like some Hollywood stars. He chose vehicles that reflected his philosophy: functional excellence. Here's where it gets really interesting. Bruce Lee wasn't just a martial artist and actor, he was a businessman and entrepreneur. Let's break down his ventures. First, his martial arts schools. Before becoming a movie star, Bruce opened multiple Junfan Kung Fu institutes. He had locations in Seattle, Oakland, and Los Angeles. These weren't your average dojos. Bruce was teaching celebrities, charging premium rates, and revolutionizing how martial arts were taught in America. Students included James Coburn, Steve McQueen, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Imagine paying for private lessons from Bruce Lee. That's the ultimate flex. Then there's his film production company, Concord Production Inc., which he formed with Raymond Chow. Bruce wasn't just acting in movies. He was producing them, controlling creative decisions, and negotiating profit-sharing deals. This was revolutionary for an Asian actor in the 1970s. He was building an empire where he'd own his work and his image. Bruce also wrote books: Chinese Kung Fu, The Philosophical Art of Self-Defense, and his training manuals generated income and established him an authority beyond just performance. These books are still sold today, continuing to earn royalties for his estate. Bruce was smart with his money. He invested in real estate in both Hong Kong and California, which has proven to be incredibly valuable over time. He also had stock investments. Those specific details are limited since he kept his finances relatively private. His movie deals were groundbreaking. For Enter the Dragon, he negotiated $850,000 plus profit participation massive for that era, and especially for an Asian leading man. Warner Brothers initially didn't want to pay that much, but Bruce knew his worth. He was playing chess while others were playing checkers. His teaching income was substantial too. Private lessons with Bruce Lee could cost $250 per hour in the early 1970s. That's equivalent to about $1,800 per hour today. He was selective about students, which only increased his value. Here's the thing about Bruce Lee's wealth: it didn't stop growing after he died. His estate continues to generate millions annually through licensing deals, merchandise, documentaries, biopics, and his enduring image. The Bruce Lee brand is worth an estimated $100 million today. With his daughter Shannon Lee managing the estate, from video games to apparel to inspiration for countless films, Bruce Lee's likeness and philosophy continue to generate revenue. He's one of those rare figures whose commercial value actually increased after death. So there you have it. Bruce Lee was worth around $10 million when he died, about $70 million in today's money. He lived in prime real estate in Hong Kong and LA, drove elegant Mercedes and Porsche vehicles, ran successful martial arts schools, produced his own films, and made smart investments. But the real wealth? That's immeasurable. Bruce Lee changed cinema, broke racial barriers, revolutionized martial arts, and inspired billions of people worldwide. He proved that a Hong Kong kid could become a global icon through discipline, innovation, and refusing to accept limitations. The Dragon's fortune wasn't just in his bank account, it was in the legacy he built in just 32 years. And that legacy? It's still paying dividends today. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe for more content, and let me know in the comments, what's your favorite Bruce Lee moment? Drop it below. Until next time, be water, my friends.